Thanks very much, Karen. I certainly appreciate the introductions. Welcome, everyone, to this Thought Leadership series. I'm very pleased to be part of today. As Karen mentioned, I'm with a company called Social Evidence. I'm the Chief Information Officer and sometimes Chief Cook and Bottle Washer. So today I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about ways of using social media to better understand how it's used in litigation and other legal areas. It's no secret that President Trump has brought about a new awareness of social media and how it can be used. What I'll focus on is how you, the legal professional, can use social media evidence in your cases before, during, and after. This is my me wall or brag sheet. Basically, I've been around a long time. I started this in this profession in the late 1980s. That was back in the days of DOS, if you can remember that, even before Windows and before the internet was even a gleam in Al Gore's eye. I've seen a lot of changes, both in technology, but also in the use of technology in the legal profession. And I've been fortunate enough to help about 300 plus law firms and government agencies transition into using more efficient technologies. It's been a grand ride, and I'm still involved in a lot of this area. Currently, I'm working in a software startup called Social Evidence. It's a cloud-based application that collects, organizes, and analyzes social media information for legal matters. And it is a little bit different area than I've been over the last 25 years, but I think my experience in working in this area definitely helps as we move through and talk with different aspects of e-discovery. I like to show this slide. People are not really sure what happens these days, and this is usually updated every few months, but what happens in an internet minute? If you'll notice, this is also clue number 1 of 5 clues today. And you'll notice that it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. For lawyers looking for social media evidence, you'll see some of the highlighted areas there. Facebook with 900,000 logins, YouTube with 4.1 million videos viewed. Instagram is very popular. It's starting to put a run on Facebook. Lots of photos uploaded. And Instagram, along with several others, excuse me, I'm fighting a cold today as we go through this presentation, but Instagram allows you to not only post to Instagram, but also share that same post to Twitter, Tumblr, and Facebook. So just because you put it on one place doesn't mean it doesn't end up on several other places. And that's another hint as to where you might look for evidence for social media. Don't let text messaging and instant messaging be overlooked. Those are also being very prevalent in today's society. We talked with a state attorney who was talking about a case that he was working on where someone committed a crime. And within 10 minutes, there were 40 texts, 3 posts, and 14 Facebook photos, all within a 10-minute time frame. And trying to get that data and show it on a timeline was quite interesting. But those are the types of things that we're starting to see. People just don't share information in one location. They share it in multiple places. Here's another little more, some numbers for you. Facebook, actually, it's over 2 billion monthly active users right now. And there are people that are on the other sites, other social media sites, such as Twitter and Instagram. Snapchat, that's an interesting one, too. If you haven't been used to Snapchat, the idea behind that is that you send a message or a post or a photo, someone looks at it, and then it completely disappears. There are ways of gathering that information, but it's not nearly as easy as Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. But this just kind of goes to show you, again, another clue that social media is exploding, especially for litigators. One more slide here. Again, this is clue 2.1. If you look over the last 10 years, Facebook is one of the big ones, but you also see that LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram are growing. And on top of all of that, we're starting to see close to 3 billion users posting things on a monthly basis. So yes, social media is definitely here. Now, the thing is, since your clients are using social media, you need to know it, especially at intake. You need to be able to ask your clients, what are they doing on social media? What's their liability? Because you may be opening yourself up to potential liabilities. The last thing you want to see or hear is the opposing counsel providing evidence against your client from their own social media accounts. Now, my father was a lawyer. One thing he always told me that stuck with me, he says, never ask a question that you don't already know the answer. So it's important that you know your client's social media habits. And there's not that difficult. There's checklists out there. We have several on our sites, questions to ask, things to find out, and things to look through on their social media. So what does all this mean? It basically means there's more demands and there's opportunities for lawyers and their legal staff. So when we were doing some research for creating this company and product, Social Evidence, one thing we wanted to find out was where are the major areas where social media is making an impact. And this is not necessarily in order, but the 5 areas of law that keep popping up: family law, criminal law, labor and employment, workers' comp, and personal injury. And I don't see that changing that much. We are starting to see a little bit more into IP, especially with applications such as Slack or other instant messaging or business-related type social media networks. And those things are starting to pop up too. Here's a few cases. I'm not going to read into these, but we see this time and time again. The sort of the de facto that people point to is a workplace injury, and someone files a claim against a company, but then they'll go out on a vacation and water ski or rock climb, and they're posting pictures on their Facebook page or Instagram of them doing these activities, whereas they've filed a suit against a company on a workplace injury. Family law is a big one also. We know that there's a lot of people that hide their assets, their financial assets, from spouses during a divorce, and yet if you go to their Facebook page, you may see them pictured in front of a new car or on a vacation. I mean, these are just common instances, and I'll leave these. There's some citations here that you can roll through. So one of the things that we try to talk with people, when do you start asking your client about their social media? Typically, you need to do that during client intake, when you're screening your clients and when you're discussing things with witnesses. Obviously, during discovery and collecting social media is not the easiest thing. We know that lawyers and paralegals spend hours combing through Facebook pages, Twitter tweets, and Instagram grams, trying to find relevant information to that case. That's one of the reasons why we created this company, Social Evidence, is to be able to give you a tool to quickly and accurately collect that data and review it. The other thing you want to ask is when you're doing research on witnesses or potential jurors, being able to find information about what they say on Facebook or social media, as opposed to what they're telling you during a trial or during court. I'll also put this out there, we've been writing some articles and they're posted on our website. If you're interested in pulling out some of these checklists or policies, we've written a couple of articles about social media policies and the risk assessment. So those are all free. Feel free to download whatever you might need. The other thing that I wanted to talk about too is, I don't want to go into a lot of detail about admissibility, but the federal rules of evidence, these are some of the ones that are highlighted during social media, FRE Rule 901 and 902. But more importantly is that, again, one of the extra clues about why social media is becoming an impact is the laws are changing for federal rules of evidence. 902 paragraph 13 and 14 basically provide for auto authentication which when you're collecting data and presenting it, is more than just a screenshot or a PDF. You actually have evidence and hash values and authenticity included with all of that. So that kind of leads us to this summary slide here. I think I've tried to show you 5 clues that social media is hot and it's here to stay. As you know, it's only going to get better or worse, depends upon what side of the fence that you're on. The most common areas are family law, criminal, unemployment law, personal injury, and workers' comp. We know that for a fact, but we're also starting to see that there's more areas than just those that are presenting social media. You want to start collecting and understanding your clients and the opposing counsel's other interested parties in the case before, during, and after the trial, because that's very important. That you not only know and understand what they're doing, but also gives you potential evidence and perjury information, which is always interesting at times. The last thing you want to do is face an opponent who's already found it. And as Bob Dylan, one of my favorite artists, has always said, the rules are changing because it is relevant. So that hopefully in about 10, 12 minutes, I've been able to provide you an overview of social media and the impact on the legal profession. And this is my contact information. Feel free to shoot me an email, call me if you're more interested in social media, or if there's any other questions that we can answer. But I do appreciate your time today, and I hope everyone has a blessed day. Thank you.
Great, Andy. Thank you
Karen,
so
back to
much.
you.
Thank you, thank you. And those are some great tools and great insights. I hope our listeners will go check out some of those articles that you shared. Thank you very much. And thanks to all of you for attending. I will be sending out the recording of today's webinar shortly. If you enjoyed Andy's presentation, please join us again for the August edition of our Thought Leadership series, when Matt Yezevich will share his 5 reasons why mobile time entry works. Just go to affinityconsulting.com/webinars to register. Please do share your feedback with us on the survey that follows, and I hope you'll join us again soon. Thanks, everyone.